아가씨,
아저씨 이게 뭐야? Hello everybody, Agashi here today. So today I'm going to be doing a K-drama review, and how excited are you guys that Lee Min-ho is finally back. Well, he's been back for some time now, but he's finally back with the drama, and like I am so hyped up for it. Honestly, I was so hyped up for it. I told Ajashi about it, and like so excited that it came out and all this stuff like that. And obviously it is a Netflix series, so no promotion and no sponsored by it. Just so excited for it and like watched it. So Ajashi and I, we actually watched this together, and we have so many thoughts in it, so I'm gonna go over it with you guys. So I'm going to be reviewing the King, the internal Monarch with you guys, and going over the cast, the synopsis, and recap the first 2 episodes, and sharing thoughts of what Ajashi and I think of this drama. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So the drama has a total of 16 episodes. It airs on Friday and Saturday, and it is a Netflix series. So it is on Netflix, so no promotion sponsors to that. And so let's go ahead and jump into the cast. We have Lee Min-ho as King Lee-gong, and then Kim Go-eun as Chung Tae-il or Luna, and then Wang Do-hyun as Joo Eun-sup or Jo Young, and then Kim Kwang-nam as Kang Shin-jae, and then Jung Eun-chae as Gu So-ryung, and then Lee Jung-jin as Lee-rin. So as for the synopsis, it's a story about a Korean emperor of his generation, Lee-gong, who is the perfect leader to his citizens. In front of his citizen, he has a flawless appearance, but behind, he's deeply wounded and sad. His father was murdered right before his eyes when he was 8 years old. Now he would rather be escape enjoying the young life, world, and everything, rather than being the emperor to run and rule his country. Through the door to a parallel world opens, which is opened by the demons who was a demon that was unleashed by the deities into the human world. Lee-gong ends up entering the parallel world and meets Lieutenant Jung Tae-il and teams up with her team to defeat criminals, and with the help of their team, it helps him close the door between the 2 worlds. So recap on the first 2 episodes. The drama starts us off already in 2020, where Jung Tae-il and Kang Shin-jae is interrogating Lee-ryung about if he killed his brother or not. But he goes off talking about this bamboo flute by the name Mampakshikchong, something like that. When it's being played, it cures disease, it makes enemy retreats, all sorts of things, and they shut him up and ask him information that you're already 70, your age is 70, but you look 40. And he talks about his time passed by slowly since 1994, and he's from another world, and his brother doesn't know about the flute, but his nephew does now, and the legend has stumbled upon his nephew where there's actually 2 worlds. So we get to see Lee-gong sitting on his horse, and on the other side of the world, where he's standing in front of 2 big large stone pillars facing each other, and it's like a gate door. He's dressed in full royal attire with his sword, and seems like he's about to go defeat something in this legend and close the door between 2 worlds. And then we flash back to winter of 1994. The Korean Empire, and Lee-rin goes off. During this time is the Korean Empire, and Lee-rin goes off to kill his brother Lee-hong, who is the emperor during this time. Everybody's killed, blood splatter everywhere, like scary, all this stuff like that. And they stumble upon the king, and without hesitation, Lee-rin stabs him, telling him that, he's gonna kill him, and he's gonna take all this, the flute and everything like that. Young Lee-gong comes and sees his father dead. He orders treason on his uncle, and his uncle tries to escape with the bamboo flute, but Lee-gong picks up the sword and slice the bamboo into 2 pieces. This upsets Lee-rin, and he stabs a piece of the bamboo in his hand. He has the other piece into Lee-gong's throat, trying to kill him. Just then, the ceiling glass shatters, and a mysterious man comes and starts to kill everybody. Everybody tries to kill this mysterious man, but he's utterly fast, and he's getting everybody, shooting everybody. Irin and his people cannot defeat these men, so they run off with Irin having the other piece of the bamboo. The man goes and check up on young Egon, and his pulse is still okay. The radio shouts that there's an emergency. All the royal guards comes running in. This little boy pulls the name tag from this mysterious guy as he's semi-conscious and everything like that, and falls to the ground. He grips on tightly to this as the mysterious man disappears, and it looks like it's a name tag of the Seoul police, and it is Jung Tae-il's name tag. And the little boy also has the other piece of the bamboo flute, who he has no idea what it is. The next morning, it is announced that the king Iho is dead, and the funeral happens, and Egon becomes the king of Korea immediately, like overnight. Life becomes suffering for him as he cannot go on missing his father. They bring in young Jung-young to become his friends, and they get attached immediately, and Jung-young becomes his bodyguard ever since little until now. So we get to see, that's their portion, and before that we get to see Irin as he's making his way to the bamboo forest with the other half of the flute that he has. He starts to hear lightning, noises, and all this stuff like that, and he sees those two large pillar stones, and it's like a gate, and the light shines like cracking kind of in a way, and he enters it, and it brings him to 1994 in South Korea. So he meets his brother's doppelganger who is alive, and he finds out that there's people like him and other doppelganger alive in this world, and he understands that they're not run by a king, they're run by a president and all this stuff like that. Technology is a little bit higher, different from them and everything. And so he ends up killing his own doppelganger in there. His brother, he kills his brother along with his nephew, and making it where South Korea, none of them exist in South Korea, and only he exists in that one versus the other one. So we fast forward to 25 years later. Irim still looks exactly the same, as he has not aged, and the other half of bamboo that he has turned it into the umbrella stick where he carries it with him. As for Egon, he has grown up, and the other half of the bamboo that he has now become the whip stick, the end of the whip stick for him when he goes horse riding, and he's always carrying that stick with him. And then so we have the Prime Minister Gusoryong coming on her way to meet Egon as the news announced that she's coming. The court lady puts a lot of talisman all over Egon's room to make sure he finds love and he gets married, and he's already in his 30s. But he doesn't believe in it. He meets the Prime Minister, photographer takes picture of them, putting out news that they're dating, all stuff like that. They look good, all stuff like that. And then we get to see Egon goes on his daily events schedule as he's the king, reading for children, and all this stuff like that. And he loves reading the story Alice in Wonderland. Hint, hint to us, this drama is like Alice in Wonderland. So if you guys know the story Alice in Wonderland, this is something like that, where Alice is going to go enter into another world where she chases the white rabbit in the clock. That's exactly what's going to happen. So after all this, Egon, he goes to a university charity event, and then this is where he ends up meeting Luna, who is Jung Tae-il's doppelganger. She's in a black hoodie with rabbit ears, and she's running away like a rabbit, the white rabbit in Alice in Wonderland, who he's always going, I'm late, and he's running. Egon ends up chasing her, and he loses the rabbit, and Young thinks that something is off with him, that they aren't sure what he's actually doing. They're not sure, And now we go on to Seoul in 2019. Jung Tae-il and her team is actually catching a murder, and she causes a big scene as they're role-playing and all stuff like that. They find a dead body in the trunk, all these things like that. And during this time, Egon is about to go feed his horse Maximus, and he sees the white rabbit again. He ends up chasing the white rabbit, this time leading him into the bamboo forest, leading him to the door, and he enters it. At this time, Jung Tae-il is off her work, and she ends up seeing him and his horse in the middle of the streets. She goes and stops him as he cannot ride that in public and all stuff like that, and he sees her and realizes that she is his savior, according to the police name tag he had back in his world. And so he got that name tag, and it says that the time is when this was established was November 11, 2019, and that shows her birthday and all stuff like that. And then he sees that she has the same one too, but here's the thing, the picture is different from the one he has. So he hugs her and states that he's finally found her. She thinks he's crazy, brings him back to the station to questions. He doesn't give her a name, so she ends up calling him Kim Kik Dong because he refused to give a name. They arrest him. They try to find his identity. No fingerprints match. So apparently, as the little boy who was his doppelganger when he was little, never got registered, and who we don't know if the little boy dead or not. From the looks of it, it looks like the uncle killed the little boy. So then no DNA, no fingerprint. She does a DNA swab, and she'll find out eventually who she is after some tests being run. And so she lets him go. He doesn't have money, but he realized that, in this parallel universe, things is different. He has a lot of diamonds in his shirt. He swapped it out for money. He uses it to get a suite of money and clothes and all stuff like that for him. He gets to meet Yoon's doppelganger, which is in Seoul, brings him in, have him do stuff for him, and then he leaves his horse at Jung Tae-il's house and for her to take care of it. And eventually he runs out of money by spending carelessly, and now he goes back to Jung Tae-il asking her the reason why she's keeping him around, and she's kind of confused of who he is and what's going on, because he keeps saying that he knows her, but she's like, I don't even know you, and all stuff like that. And then he finally tells her that he was able to acquire her police ID card 25 years ago, and she was his savior. And she brought up the point that 25 years ago I was only 5. How do I even have that? So she gets really frustrated with him, saying that he has delusion and he just needs to go see the doctor. And he tells her he doesn't have family, he doesn't have anything left, so he's still single, and he offers this, or he says straight out, I'm gonna make you my wife as my queen. So this is the reason why I'm gonna stay in your world with you. So that ends it for us for the first 2 episodes. So excited. I feel like next week's episode he's gonna be able to go to his universe, and he's gonna be able to travel back, and he's gonna take her and all stuff like that. I'm so excited. As you guys can tell, I'm so excited. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, oh my god, so many things going on. So Ajishi and I, this is like what we're guessing. So it's like the whole point with the Flash. If you guys seen the Flash, there's multiple universe, and people keep thinking that, or he thinks too, that the person who saved him as a kid was actually Jung Tae-il. It's not. When you really go back and look at the episode, it's actually, the figure is actually Lee Min-ho's character again. You guys see how he looks like in City Hunter. He kind of looks like that again. So it's like a different universe where it's him coming back to save him again, because something must have happened to him and Jung Tae-il's love. That's the reason why he has her police tag, and he coming back and trying to make sure that this one and this time period stays alive and is able to find Jung Tae-il and make things work between the two of them. So it's actually not just between 2 parallel worlds, there's actually multiple universes out there, and this one has recovered or know what's going to happen, and he came to make sure that this Igong, the little one, is going to be different from his version, because he probably lost her in his world, and so he's going to make sure that in this Korea with the C is going to be able to find Jung Tae-il and find his loved one and stuff like that, and solve it, and pretty much get rid of his uncle who's evil. So that's what we've come up with, and you got to really intake that. So we're taking in terms of kind of like Alice in Wonderland mixed with the Flash of the multi-universe and stuff like that. Like there's multiple of you in doppelgangers and all stuff like that in other ones, but you can still be the same or you can still be different, so who knows what it is, but that's our guess for it. And we're really excited to see what's going to happen and what's in store for this. And we're just like, man, this is so perfect for Lee Min-ho to be able to play these, like he can pull it off of playing roles like this. So I don't know, there's so much to say, and I don't want to blabber on with you guys. It's just so excited for this, and to see how the story is gonna turn out. Like honestly, we love Goblin, and it's such a great drama, and to have the same writer come back and do this, and casting Kim Gong-eun again to play this, and casting Lee Min-ho in part of this. And Lee Min-ho is great, as Lee Min-ho worked with her in The Air too, and so we're just so excited and to see how this is gonna turn out. Like there's so much going on, and like we're paying attention to so many things. There's like the clock, because his time is different and all this stuff. Like you pay attention to how it's ticking and everything like that. They throw little hints here and there, and we're grabbing it as we're going on. And sorry about that. we're grabbing it as we go on, and we're just throwing in like this is our guess and this is what's gonna happen and all stuff like that. And we can already see at the beginning that they're in 2020. That's probably one of the what we're gonna see, because as of right now, the current time is still like September 11, 2019 or something like that. So that's their current time, and they're about to hit 2020 pretty soon. So within like the span of like 3 months, it's going to get us to 2020, where they're going to be able to catch the uncle, and he's about to go war with his uncle and stuff like that. So that's our guess. But let me know what you guys thoughts are, what your guesses are, and let's go ahead and comment it below and guess it all together and see how this drama is going to turn out. Really excited. And I don't know, tell me how excited you guys are, because Ajushi and I were so excited for it, and like I got Ajushi sucked into it. So we will see how this drama turns out. And yeah, it's something to watch during this self-quarantine. Honestly, we are trying to find a lot of to watch during the self-quarantine, giving you guys ideas of what to watch out there, doing reviews for you guys so that you guys can actually find something to watch during this time. But that is it for today. Stay safe out there, and let me know what you guys think of this drama in comments below, and I will see you guys in the next drama review.